Good afternoon, Ryan. Just kick us off with some team news availability for tomorrow.
Pretty similar to last week, to be honest. We've got a few that are touch and go for the weekend, but yeah, we're in a good place.
I think there's a sort of frustration from some fans on the side are quite unpredictable. You never really know what you're going to get with Spurs. Terrible start at Anfield, and then you come back, and then soccer punch at the end, much more organised against Palace, and then last weekend again a bit of a question mark. It feels a bit like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back at the moment, doesn't it?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that. We have been inconsistent probably all season on the pitch, but then I guess also sometimes off it as well. And I've sort of said in these last 2 or 3 weeks, and I've remained pretty consistent, that if you act a certain way and you stick to it and you really believe in what you're doing and continue to work that way, then that transfers onto the training pitch. And that's where we are at the moment. We're working consistently here, and we're definitely doing that. We know we're doing that, and I guess the final thing and the most important thing is the games at the weekend.
You've made it pretty clear that you would like the job permanently. You feel you're ready for it. In the very back of your head, is there at all the concern that 31 years of age, having your dream job, there's nowhere really you can go after that?
No, not at all. Listen, I've said that I feel ready to help this club in this moment, and I absolutely do. I trust my team. I trust the people at this club, and of course those decisions are the club decisions. But I remain confident in who I am and who my coaching team are as people, and I really feel like we have a good connection with this club, the players, and we can have impact in this short space of time. And of course, going forward, that's things that are in the future. Not really on my mind at this moment in time. We're just trying to create something right now, and we've tried to do that. I think we're doing okay at that, but of course, it's important that we get results on the football pitch.
Any players in particular, and obviously you're very close to Harry, say to you, Gaffer would love you to get the job permanently?
I think there's a professional respect between us, and when we're in these walls, we're all working for the same thing. With Harry, with other players as well, and I think that's probably one of the most important messages that I've tried to get across to not only the players but the staff members and everyone coming here, that we're working for this football club and we all need to be working for this football club, and in order to be successful we all need to be together and buy into something, otherwise it can become difficult. So hopefully that will continue to happen in the next 10 days and also going forward as well. I think that's really important.
If it is somebody to come in, would you want to stay on and be part of his backroom staff again, or at that stage do you need to maybe consider going somewhere else?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really not thinking about next season, because if my attention goes to 6-7 weeks' time, then I'd be very stupid to take my eye off the ball now. I'm aware of the situation now. I know me and my team are doing the best we can, and I think we're doing good. And then whatever happens in the summer and next season, there is definitely decisions to be made, but at this moment in time, we don't know what they will be.
Jake.
Hi. You said a couple of players to touch and go. Do you mind saying who?
Oh, obviously, we had a couple that were out last week that couldn't make the squad, and we're assessing them day by day. We've got a session in a minute, so yeah, we'll see.
Obviously, 2 games coming up. You're asked to. What would you say then in your sort of personal and for the team aims for those last 2 games?
Listen, I think the most important thing is to get results, because that's what we're working for, to get results. But yeah, of course, at the same time, I would like to start seeing what we believe our team should look like. It has been such a short space of time, but we believe in the work we're doing. We trust in the work we're doing, and if in these next 2 games, inside, the players can feel that change, and if that can transfer to the outside, then I think that would be an added bonus. But the most important thing, of course, is getting the results.
You said to Jamie that how you feel it's been good so far since you've been in charge. That is the question from that would be why? What's been good in your opinion?
Listen, I believe in the way I work. Me and my team. I have more belief now than I've ever had in my life that what we're doing, and for this football club as well, the environment, the feeling we want to try to create here, I believe in that. I believe in it so much, and that's probably where it's coming from.
Obviously, conceding early has been a problem in some of the games this season. I know, obviously, you weren't here in charge the whole time, but how do you work on something like that on the training pitch or in meetings with players?
Obviously, it's a tough one because it's been quite a common trend the whole season, not just in recent weeks, but the whole season. And I just go back to the consistency. When you have the solid foundations and you're a team and you're strong, then it can happen. It can happen in football, but probably it happens less. And I think going forward, that has to be the thing. That a team that's working together, that's strong, and a football club that's strong, then it probably happens a bit less.
Thomas Frank's had a lot of good press, plaudits since taking over at Brentford. Is he maybe an example of someone like you who's up and coming would look at and go, actually that's kind of how I want to do things, like he's done?
And of course, I respect him massively. Like I respect any head coach or any manager, because it's a big ask. Obviously, the job he's done is fantastic. I don't need to speak about that because that's clear for everyone to see. And I think Brentford as a football club have done a very good job as well. So we're aware of that. But our focus inside here isn't on other people. It can't be on other people. It has to be on us. And trying to create a good feeling from with inside these walls.
Obviously, they'll be missing their front man, their star man, tomorrow. So surely, as far as you look at Brentford and how to prepare for them, it's got to be a different proposition without, I think, Toney in that team.
It changes some things, but probably their biggest strength is they are a team. They've shown that they're a strong team. Regardless of who's playing, they have a very clear identity, and they play to that. So, yes, of course, they have an individual that isn't playing, but that doesn't change in terms of our preparation for the game.
Just last week, obviously the last home game of the season, message to the fans ahead of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that they see and feel a team that's trying to transfer energy to them. And I think that's probably one of the most important messages that we've been trying to give to the players this week, that we want energy. We want to feel that energy with inside the stadium, because our fans have been fantastic this season. They've stuck with us. They've been with us the whole time. And we want to give them something to feel good about.
Thanks, Jake. Charlie?
Right. Can you talk about Bissouma and how much the bonus that is getting him back at the end of the season?
Yeah, it is a bonus, because I think if we look at our, I won't say injury record, but this season we've probably never had all three fit and firing at the same time. 5 midfielders. And I'll go to the front half players as well. There was periods in the start of the season where Richie was injured, and then he'd come back and Becky was injured. So to create that competition and that drive from the training pitch has probably been missing at times this season. Obviously, Yves back now. We've got Skippy, we've got Pape, Pierre, Rodrigo's out. So ideally, you have all of them fit, firing, and you can really drive that in training. But of course, we signed Yves last summer transfer window, and we believe in him. And he's coming to the stage of the season now where he's back, and I think he's someone that we hope in the next couple of games, if he's selected to get on the pitch, can bring that energy.
He could start. Is he ready physically?
Listen, I think when players train and they train fully, then in my eyes they're fit to play. So I've got a decision to make. We've got players that we need to pick from, but he's certainly one that is available to play. Yes.
Does he bring, obviously, central midfielder yourself, specifically that some of the others maybe don't?
I think every one of our midfielders has different strengths, and I think probably one of Yves' biggest strengths is the ability to get on the ball and kind of take the ball under pressure. He can drive. He can be a all-round midfielder. So we have good midfielders as well that can do the same thing. But yeah, I think he's an explosive player, and hopefully he can help us in these next two games.
Just lastly, it feels as though the season maybe is petering out, but there's a lot to play for still. I mean, how important do you think it is that Spurs are in Europe?
So there's always a lot to play for when you play for this football club. When you represent this club, it's a big club to represent, and regardless of what situation the club are in, it's important. And of course, we're in a position now where there is a lot to play for. We realise that, we understand that, and hopefully our energy can really show everyone how we feel right now.
Thanks, Charlie. Finish with Ali, please.
Just to go back to Bissouma for a second. I mean, obviously, from where he came from, he was such a highly rounded midfielder as well. It didn't quite work for him before the injury. Why do you think it didn't? And how do you unlock a player like that? How do you get the very best out?
I think that's quite normal when you come into a different style of play and a different system. Sometimes that can take time. We probably see it with players that come from overseas that they need to adjust a little bit to the Premier League, but the same goes to an English player or someone who's been playing in the Premier League to have to adjust to a new team and a new style of play. Obviously, he's had a few injuries this season as well, which have probably halted that progress. But listen, there's 2 games now, and I can feel the excitement from him on the training pitch that he's back out there, he's playing, and he feels like he can help the team. So hopefully he can do that.
Another player, Clement Lenglet, obviously only on loan at the moment. If you have any say, I'm not saying that you do or don't, but would you advise the club to try to keep him permanently?
So these conversations, I'm sure, will happen in the summer. Right now, it's not on my mind. But what I will say about Clem is he's the type of character we want around the training ground. He's professional. He does it right. He's vocal as well. And the more people like that we can keep hold of and get in, then the more beneficial it is.